the 3 days leading to it, I was just incredibly sick with a really bad cold.
My God.
And I was still sick at the start of the race, and it just eventually hit me, and because I'd have to double check, but I was somewhere around 60 or so miles, 12 hours through. So I mean, it's well on my way.
Wow.
I might even had more miles than that, and then my body just gave out, and I slept for a little bit, and I ran for a little, and I just.
You slept?
Yeah.
Oh, you can just stop and
No,
rest?
in this case, it's a 24-hour race. You can do whatever you want from,
Wow.
So some people, use them for shorter training races, like they just plan on doing 50 miles or plan on doing a 50K or hitting a special mark that they have hit before.
Wow.
And then there's a bunch like me who just want to run as many miles as they can.
Yeah.
So I hit 95 for that one, and then the one this past September, I only got 75 miles. I just had, just extreme gastrointestinal problems for like the last 10 hours. And so again, I got to the point where I just couldn't even keep walking. So I would crawl and this was on a 1.5-mile trail loop. So, our cars were nearby. So I'd crawl into the car and sleep for an hour and a half or something and go back out, and I'd run another 10 miles. And I did it maybe 3 times after I had run, maybe 50 miles in the first 12 hours. And it was just, so I'm pleased that I just kept going. I kept trying to go, kept trying to run. And in fact, I was running when the race ended at 8 in the morning or 7 in the morning, whenever it ended. So I was there for the whole 24 hours, but I had to really, work it the last 10 hours.
I mean, you realize how amazing this is, though. I mean, do you realize that, that most people I would just hope that you'd be incredibly proud of yourself. Just that it's amazing that you could push yourself to that, and even, you're sick and you're not giving up, and you're, to me, it's baffling.
I know, that's part of the, for those of us who are, and there's a lot of us who are, I love the community, and we all have these crazy approach to this. That's one of the really satisfying things about it, is that you're putting yourself, in extremely challenging situations and trying to manage it how you can. In general, we don't do that in our lives anymore so much. I know these are kind of manufactured, of course, but it's just, it's just kind of a cool thing to, go beyond what you think you can do, and and actually do it. So I really appreciate that part of it.
Oh, it's amazing. I think that especially when I was in that first half marathon, I just got this overwhelming feeling of like, this is something that's healthier for you, especially in an age of you have teenagers that are obese and video cameras, and this is a community thing that's healthy, that's amazing. And I just was like, God, everybody should do this, even if you just walk 2 miles in it, just to, incorporate that. And it's I don't know, but to me, just to, and I love the community too, just even, the marathon, just back and forth, but to go
to be there with all these, healthy looking people who are all trying to do the same thing in the half marathons or the marathons.
And every age. I had 80-year-olds. Well, then there were people in wheelchairs that when we were coming down the hill, they were going up, and it was just amazing. But I can never fathom. I'm not really competitive, but even just pushing myself, it makes me feel good to even finish, even though, and I'll never be a speed person, but I right after I finished, I thought, oh God, I'm never going to do a marathon. And now I'm hopeful that if I took the time to properly, train and build it up, and that I could do it,
Yeah, it's interesting, as soon as, the Hinson Lake 100-miler ended, I was, already started to think about what I need to do to be more successful next year. So, as you just said, the community of people who do this are, I just love being part of it, because we all, are experiencing the same thing. Whether you're, extremely fast or, the last person to finish, you're all doing the same thing. You're all experiencing the same thing,
Yeah.
you know, in all these races. So you have such a connection, you know, from the leaders to the, you know, the people
I would
back in
think
the back.
extreme would even have more of a connection, just
Yeah.
because. Do you see a lot of the same people?
Oh yeah, and you
Yes.
know, and now, you know, with Facebook, you know, you stay connected and stuff
Oh
like that.
yeah. But
But
I mean, how many people out there do 100 or 24? Wow.
more than you would think. Like the Hinson Lake, it's a field of, and they have to close it, but they get a field of runners of like 280 or something like
Wow.
that who are starting. They're not all pursuing 100, you know, 24 hours, but
Yeah.
that's how many are starting. Some of these large 100-mile races, 3, 4. I think the limit for Vermont is, I don't know, somewhere around 300 and something, and it fills up in 2 or 3 days when it's like it just opened.
Like they have to cut people off.
Oh
'cause
yeah,
Oh my
it
God.
closes, and some of these things have lotteries, Western states, and
Oh
you
my
know,
God.
to get in.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a huge part of it is the connections that you make in this, and you know, and you know, everyone understands, you know, when things go south and why they do, and they, you know, have sympathy for it, and but everybody also understands, you know, what it takes to, you know, to break through and actually, you know, make it happen.
Yeah. Have you ever thought about a triathlon?
No.
No.
I
That's
just
not
like
your
to run,
thing.
you know.
Yeah.
You know, I have, you know, I did some touring biking, but that was when I was having some plantar fasciitis problems, you know. And, I don't care to swim.
Yeah.
So no, I just like to run.
Yeah, that's never attracted me either. The
Yeah.
triathlon, just the running for me, and on a bike to me that's more of a pleasure thing than I don't push myself on a bike.
Yeah, I
Or
mean,
the
I
running,
enjoy, you know, watching triathlons. You know, that when you see them on TV, they're showing you Ironman, and
Yeah.
you know, they do a great job producing it. And I have a lot of friends around here who are, you know, who are tri people, but you know, it's never crossed my mind to go in that direction.
Yeah.
It just, you know, I have enough challenges trying to make this work.
So how many years have you been doing you said the 50 was when you first did that for
the 50-mile race, and I think that was about 7 years ago, just a little
Wow.
before I turned 50. So I think I was maybe 48 or something like that.
Wow.
And so now I'm 56, I'm going to turn 57 next May, and there's still a lot of people my age who do this, and you know, but I just have this crazy goal to have this, you know, really good, you know, ultra year at the age of 56, 57.
Well, thank you very much. I've really enjoyed talking to you.
Thank you.
And
it was fun.
yeah, I hope one day I'll talk to you one day, hopefully after I do my first marathon. I don't think I'll ever go beyond that, but I'd love to watch. Do they ever televise any?
You know, back in the day when they had things like Wide World of Sports, you know, I think they did once, you know, one of the big ones, like maybe Western States,
Yeah.
there's some out in California, or Leadville, which is, you know, run at mostly 10,000 feet up
Wow.
in Colorado. But I don't know, you might see you know, a YouTube thing of it, and there's been some, you know, productions that have followed these races.
Yeah.
Most famously, the race across Death Valley, the 135-mile race across Death Valley in July, called Badwater.
I don't understand the I mean, the desert. Would you ever, like, I don't understand the appeal of, to me that's, you know, the running is hard enough as it is, to then add the heat. I just think that's dangerous.
I don't think anybody's died, but I don't think so. I don't think that Badwater is for me. I have a really good friend who I train with here, who he's younger, much younger, but he ran a 135-mile race across northern Minnesota in February on snowmobile trails, where he's pulling a sled with all of his essentials, you know, and emergency equipment and his food and his water and everything. You know, so it's just
Yeah.
these people, us, want to, put ourselves into
Keep
tough
pushing.
spots. Yeah. So yeah, who knows? If I have a good year on the hundreds and 24-hour races, maybe there's, maybe I'll be thinking about a new challenge the next year.
I could see the winter over the heat because you're already producing heat when you're running.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it can get to 130, over 130 degrees in that race.
wow.
And that's on pavement. They're running, this road and lots of elevation gain. So,
Yeah.
that's a tough one.
Okay, well, thank you.
Sure.